we're going to go ahead and start the May 9th meeting. We are just going to go a little out of order of my original agenda, just as more people join. Bobby, you can see when people are in the waiting room, right?
Yeah, I've already let some in.
Okay.
I got it.
So welcome everyone. Hopefully this is not a hugely long meeting, very informal, some open discussion, fun things coming up. The one thing I wanted to point out at the beginning of the meeting, or not point out because it's sad and exciting for people, is I hope everybody saw the notice for the June 1st retirement celebration for the community for all of our retiring teachers and staff members. June 1st, 4 to 6 at the school. There will be punch and cake and just an opportunity to connect and talk with those that have been with us for a really long time. Sad, but exciting for them. So I wanted to make sure everybody saw that. I'm going to go a little out of order since I saw Caitlin just joined. Tiffany, do you want to share just the treasurer's report real quick before we let Karen finish signing on, and Ms. Madigan go, and we can talk about the rest later?
Sure.
So are you on a phone or on your computer? Because you sound far away.
I'm on my laptop. Can you hear me?
That's better.
Okay. So just a quick overview. Let me just try to see. We started April with $20,000, and within the month of April, we spent $5,200, and then there was a $400 income. What we spent on was scrolling up. Some of the reimbursement for silent auctions, and we brought in some from Maple Labels and Papa John's and Panera. And then you see like about $900 expense. This is just to reimburse 5th grade for the 4th and 5th grade dance. And then we prepaid for spring fair $1,500, and we gave the school $1,000 for the 5th grade field trip. And then we spent around $1,100 on a teacher grant. I think there is also Ms. Nealon, I think $150 check that hasn't been cashed, but she asked for $500, so I know that is coming.
And Ms. Metz hasn't cashed hers yet because she doesn't have it yet.
Oh yeah, Ms. Met of 300. She hasn't had it yet. So that's all the transaction we have for April, and then we ended the month with $15,300.
And I will say that $1,500 for spring fair was the majority of it. There's a little bit more coming, but just for concessions and some odds and ends, but that was the majority. I know we had voted to approve $2,800, but we're not going to spend money just to spend money. So there'll probably be another $400 to $500 coming, but we can talk about that at spring fair. Mm-hmm. Any questions on the treasurer's report? And we will get into the balance and maybe possible options in a little bit. I just want to be respectful of Ms. Madigan's time, so would like to give her the opportunity to talk about the True Book Fair next before we get into all of that. So if you have other questions that you think of.
Can I ask a really quick question? This is Bobby. Sure. For the teacher appreciation luncheon, I know that's the one on Friday, but Karen, whenever you have a chance to speak, what are the other items that we spent? Like on Monday, how much did we spend for the breakfast and any other expenses that aren't listed on there?
I haven't totaled all my receipts yet. I mean, I basically try to keep a certain amount of money because of our total budget for the teacher appreciation budget line item. So we had this budget of 1,500 plus 800. So I was trying to keep within that range. I honestly don't even remember how much I spent on Monday. Luckily we got a lot of things donated, which is very helpful. And then we have a snack bar tomorrow, and then we have the lunch. I will say the lunch on Friday is $1,200. So I know that amount because that's the quote that I got. But everything else I'd have to tally up and see. But I would say probably maybe a couple of hundred for snack bar tomorrow. We also got some donations for the snack bar, so that was really useful. And then for Monday, that was more expensive just because quantity of food. But I'd have to double check my Costco receipt.
Okay, thanks. I was just curious.
No, yeah, no problem.
And then if we can table, guess anything else, and let Ms. Madigan talk about the True Book Fair and a couple of other things she had, so she can have her night back, unless she would like to stay, but she was face painting this afternoon after school, so she's had a very long day.
Thank you. Okay, for everybody who's here and those of you who may watch this video after, if you couldn't join the meeting tonight, we will be having a different kind of book fair this year, not your traditional scholastic type book fair where kids, come and buy books and erasers and all that kind of stuff. We're having something called a True Book Fair, where it's actually a free book fair where every child in the school will come and choose 2 new free books, popular books to keep forever. And this will be May 30th through June 2nd. So it's the week of Memorial Day weekend. And it'll take place during library specials. And in addition to the 2 free books, students will get to pick a bookmark that has been designed by one of our students. We had a bookmark contest and we had 3 winners. And I've already got the bookmarks in my library. We had 200 copies of each bookmark made, so students will get to choose one of those. They're very excited. And all of this was made possible through very generous donations, a lot of them from our families at North Springfield. So thank you so much to all of you who helped make this possible. We had 7 donors choose grants funded to the amount of over $6,000. We had, I had a PTA grant of $600. And we also had some items bought from a PTA Amazon wish list. And the final grant was from an organization called Lisa Libraries, and they donated 200 books rather than money. My original goal was to collect 1,200 books. That would give enough books so that every child would get a good selection. And the latest tally is 1,385 books. So we should have some to go forward to next year. So thank you so much for all of your generous donations. We will ask of your time again. So we're going to be sending out a Sign Up Genius, looking for volunteers to help. We'll need some people to help set up, not the best time, but the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, that afternoon. We're going to be setting up the library to look just like a traditional book fair. So it's going to look really nice. I'm relying on our PTA president, Jen, to bring her magic to the library because that is not my forte of decorating. So look out for that. We'll also have volunteer spots available during the week to help out during the book fair. So I think it's going to be so much fun. So during SOL proctoring this week, Miss McGee has been helping sticker all the books. So she's been sitting she's the bathroom monitor. So she says, I need something to do. I said, well, I have, 1,300 books that we need. I made a little sticker that said, this book is a gift from North Springfield and a place for the students to write their name. That way, parents know that it's, where the book came from, but also it helps if two students have the same book. So we know which book belongs to who. So Miss McGee has been stickering those books inside for me. And the students are super excited. They're like, oh my gosh, Minecraft, Dogman, look at all these books. So it's good press. And every student that I tell about the free book fair, they're just really excited and kind of in awe that they can't believe it's actually going to happen. So that's the True Book Fair. Just a few other book related items. All library books are going to be due on Friday, June 2nd. So any books that say Fairfax County Public Schools on the back need to come back by that date. Another thing is thinking towards summer. So the True Book Fair is going to be a great time to kind of get kids pumped up for summer reading. Your kids love to read. They love to come to the library every week and check out books. So please continue taking them to the library over the summer. I'm sure many of you already do this, but for those families who, maybe going to the public library is not a regular thing, please, take your kids there. It's great free entertainment, right? When you're looking for things to occupy your children over the summer, it's air conditioned. You can bring them there, you can let them go and look, and they will be happy looking for books for at least 30 minutes. And then they can bring those books home and, occupy their time a little longer. Help with that, keep away that summer slide where, we don't want them to lose that sort of love of reading. And I don't know if many of you know this, I'm going to actually send home a flyer, sort of at the end of the year, but you don't need a library card to check out books. All Fairfax County Public School students can check out 3 books just with their name from the public library. They can check out 3 books. They can keep them for up to 6 weeks. There's no fines for overdue books or anything like that. So I have information about that can go home in all the languages that our students speak. So.
Ms. Madigan, may I say something, please?
Yes.
You can check out up to 50 books at a time, and there are cooperative agreements with Arlington County. Any county that intersects the boundaries of Fairfax County, you can also rent books or check out books from there. And I believe that's 50 books a person, or do you know, Ms. Madigan, or per family?
I think it's if you have a library card. So what I was talking about is if you don't have an actual, yeah, if you don't have a library card, like some families, they just don't have a library card, and for whatever reason, they don't want to sign up for a library card. Your students can still go and check out books even without that library card. Of course, library cards are free to get, and for that, I believe it is 50 books. Okay, any questions about anything I've said?
The only other thing I would add is that the 1,000 books before kindergarten program, it's like tangentially related, but they have a new thing this year where older kids can participate in a different program. So that is something new and cool. And also, do you know the difference between the labels of the books? Because we checked out probably about 50 books and how they look different from the NSES books on the white label.
They're really similar. They used to be different. So the one main difference is Fairfax County Public Library or Fairfax County Public Schools. NSES books should also have a white sticker on the back that says NSES or North Springfield 142. And then somewhere inside the book, there's a stamp that says North Springfield Elementary School in there. I get public library books returned to me all the time, and I just drop them off at the public library. And if you do return your library books, I'm looking at you, Ginleys, to the public library, they do come back to me, right? Maybe like a couple of months later, but I do eventually get them back. So when when someone is frantic and they're like, oh, I think I put them in the public library, I say, don't worry, they're coming back.
Ms. Madigan, we did have one anonymous question asking if there's any chance you can put together something for any of the summer reading incentive programs. Like I know Barnes and Noble has one, and sometimes Fairfax County does something. I know they do something. I just can't remember what it is off
Right.
the top of my head.
So
Um,
the public library does, and I will put a flyer for that. Every summer, the public library does a summer reading incentive program. So I'll send home information about that as well. I believe that the Fairfax County Public Schools has not been doing a summer reading program in the past. And honestly, I have done them sort of in the beginning of my career, but they were not really, a lot of people just didn't do it. Right? It just wasn't, maybe we'd have like 20 kids participating. So I prefer to encourage the public library ones.
Absolutely.
What are you showing, Caitlin? Yeah, the public library, they
They
give you all
modified-
coupons.
Yes,
and
ma'am. They
things.
modified the one only for upright, like rising kindergartners to be for older kids, but it's, I mean, I don't, you know more about it than I do. But I think that when they're doing it together, if you have two siblings, that it's like really incentivizing for them. Well, I'm talking about the public library, not the school, but
Mhm.
Have you any more questions for Ms. Flanagan?
Cool. Was that you, Karen?
That was me.
We couldn't really hear you. I heard more questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying, do you have any more questions for Ms. Flanagan before we let her get back to her?
Let her enjoy her evening.
Well, thank you. This is enjoyable, but I am kind of tired.
Had to deal with a cranky child and his dog face, I heard. So,
Miss Madigan, just one more quick question. If a book is damaged at the end of a year, how do you want, if we want to like take ownership of that, like how do we best, do we just buy you a new book?
You can do that, sure.
You can, you could send Miss Madigan a note and just ask her how much to write the check for. In
I'll give you.
case that had,
Millions.
that has worked in the past.
Are you no longer offering the hard labor option of working off the book in the library?
Mr. McCrae and I have to have a talk about how we're going to handle lost and damaged books at the end of the year. I don't think we've decided what we're going to do this year. I am torn. I do, obviously want children to take responsibility. And, in the past, I have done that where, students could come and dust my shelves and clean out my maker space, which really needs a lot of work this year. But I think that Mr. McCrae and I will have to have a talk. And, I believe these books are in your homes. They really are there. Like, kids are like, they're lost. I said, are you going to go find that? And then they'll tell me after the weekend, yeah, I found it. And I'll say, okay, where was it? It was on my bookshelf.
Or your
And the
kid
book-
finds them 3 years later and returns it.
Hey, I'll take it 3 years later. You're volunteering Declan to clean out the maker space. He'll sit there and read a book while he's supposed to be cleaning.
Yes, I was offering the check for the damaged book when things get spilled on them and you can no longer open the pages of the book.
Yeah, I mean, usually when that happens, I just say, listen, let me know that books do get, accidents happen, books get damaged, and that's okay. That's, it's part of the job. These
And
things
should we do a
happen.
quick reminder for people who watch this later of where we can check, like which books are missing, Miss Madigan?
So you can go to Destiny Discover and log in. You can have your child log in. You choose the Google login. I believe in all of your children's school, not parents, teachers' Schoology pages, there should be a library folder, and there's information in there on how to log in. But I will be probably the week of June 2nd, I'll send out an email that will say all the books that your child currently has checked out. So you can get an idea of what's there. And then I'll follow up with talking points. I've been using that a lot this year, and that's worked really well with just getting books back. And then look for the little receipts, sort of like the little ticker tape receipts. That's a list of what books your child would still have out. But all right, anything else?
Thank you so much for coming. I know
All
I
right.
will want to get those highlighted pieces of paper home, so.
All right. Thank you for inviting me to speak to you, and look out for that sign up genius. I hope to see you all in the library. All right. Or I'll see you all Friday night at the fun fair. Come get your face painted. Mr. Ginley, I think you'd look great as a pirate. All
Or
right.
with your forced manual labor over the summer for our children's unreturned books.
That's child labor, not parent labor.
Oh,
All right.
wow. Unless they're reading the book, right? All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Miss Madigan.
All right. Bye-bye.
Karen, do you need to go, or would you prefer me to have Caitlin, and then we'll go with the rest of the stuff, and then you?
It's really your call. I can either give a quick update now, or I can update. I'm gonna try and hop back on later, so it's whatever your preference is.
Let's do later. Caitlin, why don't you do the
Okay.
meeting minutes?
I'll
from
be back.
Okay. So sharing the screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, I did do that. Hold on. I only did that because that's the only way I could get Tiffany to stop sharing. So please, 1 second.
Oh, and Tiffany, yeah, I have a question for you.
All right, you should be good now.
All right, while I'm doing the screen sharing, Tiffany, what I'll need to know is the 4th and 5th grade dance, how much the amount in pre-orders that we were able to bring into the budget. So, all right, can you see it?
No.
I'll get back to you, Caitlin. I have to look because the
That's
months
okay.
overlap.
Oh, you can't see it right now. Can you
Yeah.
see it?
Oh, now it's saying, yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought everyone could see my screen. Just kidding. Oh, no worries, Tiffany. Don't worry about that. That's okay.
Okay.
All right. So we started off, Lauren opened the meeting. Bobby shared her wonderful fundraising update of, we really had some lessons learned with some of these things and the timing and what we'll decide in terms of like the cost benefit analysis of when, where, and how we host fundraisers. There's been a lot of successes and some lessons learned. And then Lauren provided an overview of the nominating process, and obviously our deadline for nominations for next year has passed. Mr. McCrae did discuss, hosting a possible celebration at the beginning of June. These are maybe some things people want to like follow up on, either this meeting or our last meeting is going to be next month. So, when we send the notes out, people, if you're interested, you might want to take a look at them and kind of think about either next year or things that you still have questions about. Feel free to follow up with any member of the PTA or, as appropriate. These are some of the financial updates that Tiffany provided, and we really, did well with a lot of these events. I mean, people are going to need to vote on some of these items though in the future. So again, just looking at them and thinking about what is best for the future and how best we can achieve those, and or if you have an opinion, right? That's why we're a parent teacher association organization. Again, this is why we need your opinions, is because if there's these various things that are in flux, it's helpful to hear people's feedback. So Karen's done a great job this year with the enrichment, and she explained kind of the reality of what coding class, like the coding class, or things that were available to students this year as extracurriculars within the enrichment program. And they had to cancel the sports class, right? But coding was more of a success than we thought. And like the spring fair is going to be awesome. It's going to be really fun, I think. And we still need volunteers. So please sign up, given the link that Lauren sent out if you're available. And we talked about the True Book Fair, and we also need volunteers for that. We always need volunteers. So please, if you're available, please do help when you can. And then Teacher Appreciation Week is now. So I don't know if that was already mentioned, but it was sent out in the email and sent home in some flyers. They were, I think, green color maybe. And so tomorrow is, I actually have it right here. So tomorrow is going to be breakfast from, no, tomorrow's Wednesday. Snack bar, and then return the thank you note that was sent home with your child, please. And if you didn't give your teacher a flower and you're able to, that's awesome. And then Thursday is breakfast from Anita's. Friday is catered lunch. Compliments of the PTA. So then we did the approval of the minutes. Dan did a very excellent job with the membership update, which is always interesting to hear because, you know, the number of students registered kind of influences the number of parents that are part of the PTA. Then the administrative update, administration update. Mr. McCray did report, you know, some of the things that were happening outside. And then, you know, like within the light fixtures, there are like very expensive costs. So hopefully Mr. McCray maybe will provide another update on that. And then the pathway with the action plan, we are hoping it will be in progress soon. Maybe it is, and I haven't been updated. The kindergarten orientation, I thought was very successful. Bobby was a very helpful person that evening, as she always is. Good teamwork, right? And she like oversaw the whole thing. And we had good attendance too. The turnout was really good. Let's see, this got moved up. Okay, so we already talked about that. Okay, so do people approve the notes? Any questions?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
That was Amy.
Who was that?
It was
Amy.
Amy Mahoney.
Okay, and do I have a second motion to approve the minutes, please?
I second.
Thank you.
All right, if you stop sharing.
Hey, Caitlin, I wrote it in the chat, we collected $919 for fourth and fifth grade dance. And we turn around, we wrote a check back to them. It was not like a PTA event.
Hey, Caitlin, can you stop sharing for now? Thanks. So then I will do a few things quickly. Dan is unfortunately on work travel, learning how to save all our lives even better than normal. So he did report he didn't have much, but we are currently sitting at 88 members. And obviously our fiscal year ends June 30th. Get my J months confused, but so that ends June 30th, and then we would hope everybody has the opportunity to rejoin the PTA, obviously next year. And then I did tell Karen I would handle the spring fair update. We had our last pre-fair meeting today, actually. We are in good shape. Tiffany mentioned the money. We spent about $1,500 so far. I know personally I have another 100 maybe that I have spent, and Karen is running to grab concessions tomorrow, which is significantly less than last year. So
I'm sorry, Lauren, what was the number at 400? The first number that you said?
Oh, I spent about 1,500.
1,500.
Yes. Of the 28 that we allocated. Karen, I have probably another 100 or so coming. Karen has some coming, including concessions, which won't be like as bad as much as last year. We just have a lot left over. We might be borderline, like not this year, but we also have 3 food trucks coming. So if we run out of bottles of water, we're covered. I'm not worried about finding people water. We are in good shape. Each student is going to, it's going to be a little different this year. So each student is going to receive 30 free tickets. We will have 2 ticket booths, 2 ticket information booths, one in the gym, one in the cafeteria. We will have list, well, the teachers will, there will be a teacher at each station with a list of the students' names. We'll cross them off. There will be additional tickets for purchase, 10 for 10. Those tickets can be used for concessions for games. The reasoning behind the 30 tickets was it is more than enough to play all of the games. Most are one ticket. Hairspray, face painting, and I think one more thing is 2 tickets. But then we also have free stuff. So like Metz is designing a whole obstacle course, right? And she has middle schoolers coming to help shake tunnels and do all sorts of things. And that's just a fun event. And we have some stuff that is just free and fun. So the thought process was, even if you had a sibling, you now have more tickets than you actually need to play all of the games, and you can still purchase additional. We're not making money off this event, right? Like we'll see. We did it totally free last year. This year, it's still totally free. I mean, they can do everything. It's just we have this. So we'll see what it looks like to be able to have that conversation next year. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else we do. We're practicing face painting today. Thank you, teachers, after school. And other than that, we're good to go. If you haven't had a chance to sign up, sign up. If you are a Pulliam that signed up to help on games, you may have been moved to help with money. I'm sorry, but otherwise your job was going to be Plinko, and you don't want that. Plinko, nobody wants Plinko. I know you didn't want football, but nobody wants Plinko. So at least you'll have people to talk to. But I think that's it for Spring Fair, unless someone has questions about Spring Fair, and I am happy to try and answer them. We have 3 food trucks coming. Virginia Grill is coming again. Capital Snow is coming again. And then this Chicks and Sticks, or I don't know, chicken tenders and onion rings and all of the kid-friendly fried nonsense is coming. So
And Lauren, do we have any sort of a guesstimate, maybe based upon some count from previous years, how many people will be attending?
last year we estimated 600 to 800.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very well attended last year. And again, last year it was totally free. This year it is basically free for our students. What's weird is if you have a sibling, and we talked about that, but it's very difficult to draw a line. You know, we thought about, okay, the rising kindergartners, do we encourage those to come? But then how do you do that and not let maybe a current 6th grader that just graduated and left us not give them free tickets? So it's a very fine line, and it's definitely a work in progress. Open after this year, we see how it goes to feedback, because that's what we're year 2. It's just going to be a work in progress. Yes, and Dana, yes, we will have the pool, and the Civic Association will be there again. And if anyone has any other questions about Spring Fair, otherwise, if our other community member at large has anything she wants to share, we do have the Civic Association meeting tomorrow night, also at 7, in person at NSES and virtual, I believe. Is that correct? If you are not on mute.
I've got something real quick if this is time just to.
I
So,
hear you have been voluntold to help with the obstacle course, is the rumor I heard.
Yeah, I'm super. Yeah, however I can help. I've talked to Metz and I talked to Cruzy. They said so. Whatever I'm doing, I'll do. But I dropped the ball. I was talking with Jen Delboy about starting a bike bus. I don't know if anybody's heard of that, and I dropped the ball on it. I know we had Bike to School Week was on May 3rd, but I'd really love to start something. What a bike bus is, for people that don't know, is basically you get kids biking to school, and you usually can do it along a bus route. But the idea is to get kids, that maybe are getting driven to school, or, that are within that mile that aren't served by the bus, that parents are dropping them off. It's awesome in a million different ways. Really, just to start it, I just need one more parent to come with me because you just need 2 adults. I was thinking doing it like 2, maybe 3 times before the end of the year when it's nice to just kind of get it going. I was going to start a peaceful court because that's kind of near where I am. So I'd love to get somebody else doing another bus route anywhere, but just put that out there. I'll email Jen, you, Lauren, and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can, if you pass tomorrow, we can get it in the newsletter Thursday.
Mr. Ginley, can you please re-explain the premise one more time? So the children bike to the, but I'm just trying to take the notes. So they bike to the bus and then they take the bus to the school, or they take the bus to the halfway point and then bike.
So it's called a bike bus. Basically, instead of going on a bus, they bike. It's just a pack of bikers, a pack of rabid bikers.
What's the advantage then just because we're saving on emissions and bus numbers and stuff?
Well,
So-
the
so-
kids
Go
that
ahead.
would be dropped off normally, but are technically in the Walker district to promote, kids being active, they are not eligible for the bus in most cases. If you are and you want to do it, great.
I'm with you, Lauren. Thank you for explaining that. I totally get it. Got it.
It's a weird name because it's not like you're not really supposed to compete with a bus because buses are pretty efficient. But the idea is get more kids on a bike or walking. There's walking buses too, like Amy said. It's totally fine. But it predominantly focuses on kids that are actually a mile closer to school that aren't served by the bus, but just anything that gets kids outside, gets parents out of cars, because that's the other thing. It's the most dangerous spot in our entire school is the kiss and ride lane. Every day in the morning and the afternoon. So the fewer cars we have there, and the fewer kids getting dropped off there, the safer it is and the better it is.
Thank you. No, I love that. I love your willingness to organize that. I think it's great. So, Bobby, do you have anything? I know you're winding down as we get closer to the end of the year.
We had Jersey Mike's on the 5th. We only brought in $22 for some reason. I'm a little surprised about Jersey Mike's.
Cinco de Mayo.
What was that?
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. And so we were possibly going to do another one, and I just called it and I said no more for the rest of the year. Just I think people are a little too tired out on them. And once again, it's lessons learned for next year of not doing as many and focusing on the businesses that offer a higher percentage, because 10% really doesn't get us much. And versus, some do 40% and some do 30.
Yeah,
So,
Bobby, versus like sorry to interrupt, like versus Papa John's. So I went to my daughter Avery's school today for her lunch, and the teacher appreciation thing lunch, and they were talking about Papa John's, and all the kids were like, oh my gosh, like we love Papa John's. And she was like, yeah, you can get dessert there too. You can get 40% off anything, like off their cinnamon rolls and stuff. Do we actually get more money from Papa John's than the other places, or what's the highest ranking place?
The highest ranking restaurant that we've done, or the highest
Yeah.
ranking amount that we brought in from Papa John's?
Well, I know it's only one night for restaurant night, but like, is that 2,500? That sounds like a lot of money to me. I don't know. I guess if it's cumulative with Papa John's, maybe it's a question for later. I'll think
So
about it.
Papa John's for averaging $30 to $35, $25 to $35 a month.
Wow.
Five Guys brought in over 500 in one night.
Yeah. Why? If they're 40% off, why? People don't like Papa John's. I guess we do. Okay, whatever.
It could also reflect just the night of the week, or I'm not really sure. They don't do like a Friday night, for example, when I think pizza is more likely.
Okay, thank you.
Bobby, did you guys cancel Loopy's for June?
I couldn't hear you because my children are being too loud. What was that question?
Did you cancel Loopy's for June?
Yes, I did.
Just making sure.
Yep.
And we do have our community partner on here from the Civic Association and the pool. Did you want to unmute and say anything? I saw you were in chat. If you wanted to unmute and say hello, we welcome that.
Hi, everybody. This is Dana Sobolski. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, I'm on my phone and I'm not
Sorry
used
to put you
to
on the
Zoom.
spot. I just
Yeah, no, I don't have anything. Yeah, I do represent the Civic Association and the swim club, so I just thought I'd join you guys. My child went through North Springfield and I love the school and love you guys. No, we have our last final meeting tomorrow night for the Civic Association. If interested, we have our Fairfax County Police Department Community Liaison Officer coming. So if you want to come and meet him, hear what he is all about, that would be great. And yeah, just remember the whole community's open and invited to our open house at the swim club that the Civic Association co-sponsors with the swim club on the Saturday of Memorial Weekend, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Thank you. And we'll make sure we put that in our newsletter as well.
And do you want to talk about your newsletter that you guys drop off? It's very informative for the neighborhood.
It is. We're now doing one a season for a year. The next one will come out in July. I believe there's someone who does write something for the I think, is it Jen or yeah.
Karen has been writing it for the parents.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yes, it is very informative. So we I don't know what else to say other than Karen and the I say staff, of course it's all volunteer, does a fantastic job designing it, putting it together, writing a lot of it. And if you, I'm sure we're all open to suggestions. So let us know.
Yeah.
Next week out, first
Hey.
week of July.
Hey, Dana, is the event on the 17th, is that open to the community or
It
is it?
is.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for that too. On May 17th, there's a grill night and it's at the swim club. And it's 5:30 to 7 p.m. Burgers, hot dogs, the usual things. And the pool itself is not open, but the grounds are open. And yeah, that's another one where everybody's welcome. As you guys know, the swim club at least we really see ourselves as the community center of North Springfield. So we try to open up our grounds there, our brick and mortar facilities as much as we can to the residents. But we're also interested in members too. So keep that in mind and we'll see you all on Friday at the Spring Fair.
Dana, I have a question. I missed the flash sale on the pool membership. Is there any chance you could extend it?
I think at this point I think that might be a done deal, but Ken Balbueno, who probably everybody knows and loves there, is the membership director for the swim club. He would be the person to ask.
I asked him and he said he'll check with the treasurer. He hasn't gotten back to me
Okay.
yet. I can follow up with him.
All right. Yep. I would just follow up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Bye. Thank you.
And then, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I cover everything since I went out of order. I think the one thing we would like everyone to think about for maybe the next meeting, maybe not. We may or may not have some dollars that we could spend before the end of the fiscal year. Obviously, we would like to settle up with Spring Fair and the final things for grants. If there are things that people have been thinking about or have any ideas, think about them, email them to us, bring them for our next meeting. Our next meeting, we will vote on summer spending, which typically is Beaver Blast Off and the Rising Kindergartner pool date. We weren't able to fund all of the teacher grants this year, this last one, spring. Waiting on more more details, maybe that's a possibility, or maybe as a PTA, we don't think we have enough money to spend extra at the end of the year. But I would like everyone to think before our next meeting, June 13th, in a dream world, if we had extra money, what you would like to see it spent on. And likewise, those same thoughts as we spend this summer developing the budget for next year. I think those are good conversations to have and good thoughts to have. So you can either bring them to the meeting next month or email us at nsespta@gmail. And yeah, that is that. And then I am going to turn it over to our nominating committee. 2 out of 3 were able to be here today. And then chat's still on. Yes, you can continue watching baseball for now, Chad, but we'll end with him. But if our nominating committee wants to go ahead and present their slate of officers for next year, that would be voted on the June 13th meeting, not tonight. So this is just based on applications who they recommend. Is that Amy, you taking lead?
Yeah, I'll take things away. If that's okay with you, Lauren. I'm Amy Mahoney. I am on the nominating committee along with Robin Monin, who's on right now, and Allie Mallon, who's a first grade teacher at North Springfield. She's not able to be here tonight. But we got together, we had some great applications from folks who want to be on the board of the PTA. And we are presenting our slate tonight, and as Lauren said, it'll be voted on at the June 13th meeting. For VP of fundraising, we have Karen Shamaluski, who will be moving over from VP of enrichment to VP of fundraising. For our membership, it would be Kristen Hohenstein. For VP of enrichment, it would be Lori Beth Hoffman. Treasurer would be Chrissy McDonald, and secretary would be Robin Monin. Are there any questions about the slate? Robin, or sorry, Lauren, go ahead.
Yeah, no, any questions? And I will head off the Robin being on the committee, also being on the slate question for anyone thinking of it. Virginia PTA, Fairfax County PTA did clear that. That was something, yeah, out of our control. But that is cleared. She was not a part of the conversations for the position she ran for.
Correct.
So, any other
Just
questions?
say it one more. Can you just say that all one more time?
Yeah. Amy, that was a yes, but that was a for you.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I meant the slate. I meant the
Sorry,
slate.
the slate. Sorry. Okay, I thought you were asking for clarification for Lauren.
No, just
okay.
repeat the slate.
Okay,
one
the
more time.
slate is for VP of fundraising, Karen, who'll be moving over from VP of enrichment to VP of fundraising. She has a first grader. Membership chair would be Kristen Hohenstein, who has a first grader, I believe. VP of enrichment would be Lori Beth Hoffman, who has a kindergartner and a second grader. Treasurer would be
little person.
what?
And Lori has a little person.
And a little person, sorry. I only know the 2 boys. I don't know the third. Anyway, the treasurer would be Chrissy McDonald, who has a rising kindergartner, a rising second grader, and a rising 5th grader. And Robin Monin, who has 2 first graders. So are there any questions about that slate? Okay, it'll be voted on at the next board meeting, or no, sorry, the next general membership meeting on June 13th. And I'm going to put in a little plug outside of the nominating committee. If you have kids who are going into Holmes next year, please join the Holmes PTA.
We'll give you that one. But it just reminds me of something that already flew out of my head. Oh, if we are okay with nominating committee before we move on to Chad going once.
Oh, can I add one more thing?
Yes.
So just in case anybody is wondering, In years past, we had a president-elect position. So we had a president-elect for a year who then became president. So Lauren right now is actually the president-elect. Jen is our current president. Next year, Lauren will take on the role of president. That is no longer something that is in the North Springfield PTA's bylaws. It's been taken away by all of the Virginia PTA, I believe. So next year, there will be a role as president of the PTA will be included in the nominating process.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Amy. I will say before we move on, if Chad has any updates from the baseball field, we are looking for people, and I'm putting it out there now. Next month, it's going to be like, I have to have some people for the audit committee. It's that time of year. It is not bad. I promise. Scott will tell you, Amy will tell you, it is not bad. I can't serve on it, and I'll be there in case, to organize if you have questions, but normally I volunteer my husband. He is no longer eligible since I am on the bank account, so I am down to all people. Think about it. If you have any questions about it, let me know. But I think Tiffany's in a pretty good spot this year. Or if you would like to volunteer and pledge your service now, I would also be happy to take it.
He said he wants to wait and white knight at the end when you can't find anybody, and then he'll say yes.
Okay, so I'll write him down now.
Yeah, you can write him down now. And Amy raised her hand too.
Thank you so
And
much.
I have him down for next year at Holmes to do it for next year at Holmes.
Well, it's doing the audit is not being the treasurer. So I mean, I'll bribe you with food or something, or I don't know. I can't say alcohol on PTA call, but I just did. So, but yeah, we will shut down our accounts by June 30th. Checks will have to be written, hopefully cashed. All of that good stuff, and then we will have a little bit of a pause on spending or deposits until the audit is complete. So, and I know Tiffany already started working on the binders to make sure it was done in time. So with that, since I have two great volunteers, one volunteer and one extra volunteer, Chad, if you are still on, do you have any administration updates that you want to share?
Okay, I'll keep it to 2 minutes. Testing's going great. Kids are doing really well. We're pretty happy with how things are, how our kids are performing. So that's great. So far, Teacher Appreciation Week is underway, and I think Monday was great, and the teachers are really looking forward to the rest of the week. Excited about Friday. I think that's going to be a great capstone event for our whole community, and probably after this week we'll start getting a lot more detailed information around the end of the year events, the 5th grade promotion, different end of the year parties, field day, and all that good stuff that happens those last couple weeks of the year. And Miss Madigan has done, and her committee for the book fair has done absolutely a fantastic job raising funds for that. And I'm still under 2 minutes, so I'll finish with Mr. Ginley. I just want to remind you that you were called out to get your face painted like a pirate. Can you please
That's all right with me, matey.
Can we please get that in the minutes for next month?
Absolutely.
No way. Definitely not. There's no way.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
So
No,
2 minutes. Did it.
No.
Done.
yeah, go. A quick question, Mr. McCray. Well, it's in the minutes, don't worry. So do you have an update on the number of kindergartners that are currently registered for next year, please?
I do not.
Okay.
Last I knew we were at 52.
I have
but-
53. And that's
Okay.
not a big deal. You can follow up with me later, or I mean, I can follow up with you later next week. So thank you.
We usually don't know those numbers till probably August, though, really.
It's one thing that impacts the funding sometimes, like with the Virginia PTA. That's the only reason I asked. Thank you.
So,
Chad, can you give us an update on the Axton ADA project?
Yeah, they should be starting anytime. I know it was approved, bid on, awarded, and I think they should be starting anytime, probably within the next week or two.
And then any further update on the rest of the?
No, I left a message for the guy for the free trees, so I'm kind of working. I'll swing back. I'll follow back around. Try to remember. Oh, tomorrow or Thursday, I'll try to reach back out to him. He's with one of the Arbor foundations that donates free trees to, schools and nonprofits.
Is that Dave, that person that does the, that did that tree that fell like next to the school?
I have no idea.
I think they work in tandem with the school and the school system. Okay, thanks.
And then soccer pitch. Sorry, my last one.
So I did get, I'm working, trying to get a hold of somebody that can give me an answer in the US soccer, because I got the county to actually mill it down 2 inches and repave the pitch and the blacktop for the entire playground for no cost. But they can't guarantee how the paint will go back. So I'm just want to check with US soccer to make sure, because contractually in the original contract with them, we had it so that the logos and everything needed to be maintained as long as the pitch was in use. So that's what I'm trying to get at this point. Otherwise, I have it being resurfaced for free.
That's amazing. And I said that was my last thing, but I'm sorry, it's not. Can we also possibly get quotes on the soccer nets that are coming undone since
Oh yeah, we can find that. I'm sure we can get the right measurements and just check even on Amazon or something for that.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's very impressive. You were able to get that, Mr. McCray. Thank you.
Hey, you give the right guys coffee and just talk to them.
Hey man, I know. I agree. Thank you.
Just one other question as people have been talking, Chad, and unrelated, but more related to testing. And Bobby, you will tell me that I'm about the Nagliari. Is that the one we saw? Get about that, Chad, because some of us saw on Schoology just because friends in other schools were getting results, and I think that's the right one.
So the Nagliari is given in first grade.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was given back either December or January. I can't remember when the window was. I can check. I thought the results went home, but I can double check on that.
Yeah, nothing was sent home. It just kind of
it comes centrally, so it doesn't come from the schools. It comes from a central mailing. So I'll double check on that.
Thank you. Roundup. Does anybody have any questions about anything before we end for the night?
Are there any other testing questions?
Questions about anything you want me to look at?
I'll just remind you that at some point this year, we had talked about doing a meeting with Mr. Sammy in the fall, early in the fall next year, that we would do a whole night of this meeting on the testing.
Thank you. I do need those reminders. I do have, unfortunately for Chad, I have a list of all like things for not now, but things that we have to talk.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Anybody else for the night? I hear the natives are getting restless somehow. Mine are alarmingly quiet, but and if not, then I will say goodnight to you all and thank you for your time. Please join us for our last meeting. We will be voting on officers or on the slate and as well as summer spending. So it's one that's important. I appreciate you guys.
Thank
you,
you.
Lauren.
Okay.
Thanks.